Besides money and power, one of the things that sets us apart from A-list celebs, world leaders, and the royals is that they can't do everyday things like popping out for groceries without an entourage of security following them. Some important figures go to more extreme lengths than others to keep themselves safe. And coming up is a list of some of the most protected people in the world. Floyd Mayweather Jr. I know what you're thinking. An undefeated pro heavyweight boxer should be able to protect himself, right? With a net worth of at least $560 million, Floyd Mayweather Jr. definitely lives a life of luxury. He's said to own a fleet of 100 premium cars and a collection of seven-figure watches. And he lives in a 22,000 square foot Las Vegas mansion, which he purchased for a cool $27 million. So it's really no surprise that Mayweather has spared no expense when it comes to making sure he has backup. You know, just in case some bozo decides to square up outside of the ring. He's protected by 1,470 pounds of pure bulk everywhere he goes, in the form of four of the biggest guys you will ever see. Nicknamed Big Church, Big A, Big Pat, and Jethro. You'd be forgiven for thinking Mayweather is a tiny man after seeing these guys, but he's actually 5'8". They're just abnormally large. Their measurements range from 7'1" to 6'3", and 430 pounds to 260 pounds. And they all wear t-shirts reading TMT, or the Money Team, in sizes 3XL to 7XL. Whenever Mayweather tells them to put up that Great Wall, they instantly fall into formation to protect him from all sides. These formidable bodyguards, unmatched in sheer size by other celebs' personal entourages, are paid in generous bonuses doled out on a whim and must be on call around the clock for any personal assignment, no matter how small. Jay-Z and Beyonce. There's no question that Jay-Z and Beyonce are one of the world's greatest power couples, and their insane security measures hold up too. In 2014, politician Hakeem Jeffries even rallied for stronger presidential security by pointing out that Jay-Z had more personal protection than Barack Obama. In 2018, it was reported that the couple intended to build a security fortress around their $88 million, 30,000 square foot palatial Bel Air mansion, which was already fitted with bulletproof windows and a huge metal gate. Security was also a top priority at the birth of their first child, Blue Ivy, in 2012. With reports stating that Jay shelled out $1.3 million to keep Bey and the baby safe. Lenox Hill Hospital, which boasts luxury birthing suites at $2,400 per night, was given an upgrade and fitted with bulletproof windows and doors, while staff had their phones confiscated in case of leaked information. Beyonce's maternity ward was also completely closed off to visitors, to the annoyance of anyone with relatives there, and Blue was assigned 2 personal security guards as soon as she arrived. During their On the Run tour in 2018, the superstar couple even hired a military-style 500-strong team of specialist bouncers on 24-hour watch, so you can forget about just wandering up and asking for an autograph. Bill Gates. Being the third richest man in the world comes with its own set of problems. One of these is that pretty much any normal person is going to be incredibly jealous, and that can be dangerous. Bill Gates learned this the hard way when he took a cream pie to the face in Brussels in 1998, and since then his security measures have skyrocketed. Security at the Microsoft office in Redmond was seriously beefed up with windows so thick it was basically bomb-proof, and any employees wishing to speak with Gates required an invitation and an escort to his heavily guarded private floor. His $127 million private compound, Xanadu 2.0, is also equipped with some pretty next-level security provisions. This is one of the planet's greatest tech giants we're talking about after all. The whole house is equipped with special sensors which interact with guests who are given a unique pin as they enter to control lighting and temperature. This doubles up as a sneaky security measure though, as the floors also have sensors which log the individual weight of each guest and match it with their pin. This means that anyone entering without a registered pin isn't going to take more than a few steps without tripping the alarms, unless you're not an intruder and you've just piled on the pounds over the holidays. In 2004, when Gates hosted a party for the National Governors Association, a temporary security zone was put in place around the house by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Guests were shipped in on private boats as all of Lake Washington south of the Highway 520 bridge was locked down for 2 whole days. The Pope. Pope Francis is one of the world's most important religious figures, but not everyone is a die-hard fan, and that means some serious protection is in order during his countless public appearances. As head of the Catholic Church and the Vatican, which is considered an independent state, the Pope has a dedicated and highly trained security service at his disposal. If you've ever noticed these guys who look like they're on their way to a live-action role-playing event, then you'll know who I'm talking about. These colorful warriors are known as the Swiss Guard, who are one of the oldest military units still under operation, having been established in 1506 under Pope Julius III. They're also one of the smallest armies, with just 110 to 125 ex-Swiss soldiers serving at any one time. Recruits must be unmarried Catholic men 19 to 30 years of age and at least 5'8" tall with basic military training. Don't be fooled by their unusual outfits either. The Swiss Army is notoriously deadly and won't hold back on using those weapons if they have to. Whenever the Pope goes out in his Pope-mobile, yes, that's its real name, he's often followed by the Swiss Guard and flanked by members of the Vatican's own police force known as the Gendarmerie, who carry modern weaponry. Protecting the People's Pope can be an extra stressful job because he loves to wander into the crowd to bless people's babies and accept random gifts, which sends his security's blood sugar levels through the roof. Mark Zuckerberg. You might consider Mark Zuckerberg one of the more humble billionaires out there, but the reality is that the cost of protecting the Facebook tycoon far exceed that of any other bigwig CEO. In 2018 alone, it cost Facebook a whopping $22 million just to keep Zuckerberg and his family safe, which was a massive increase from figures of $7.3 million in 2017 and just $2.6 million in 2013. This is probably a result of Facebook getting caught up in various recent scandals involving data protection, which are often associated directly with Zuckerberg himself. Reports state that the Facebook board of directors now provides Zuckerberg with a $10 million security grant per year, on top of the measures already in place, which covers extra expenses like equipment and residential improvements. Approximately $2.6 million of this allowance was used on private aircraft travel in 2018. Facebook also has a broad security operation which is known to track the locations of specific users who could be deemed a threat to the company and its executives, and there's a 6,000-strong security team in place to protect employees. Armed executive protection officers are trusted to patrol Zuckerberg's surprisingly modest family home, and they sweep the property when the CEO leaves and before he enters. Zuckerberg is also accompanied by personal security whenever he goes out for a run, and anyone unknown to him, like doctors or instructors at a new hobby, must be thoroughly vetted before actually meeting him face to face. Donald Trump. Even before he was elected President of the United States, when he was just a plain old multi-billionaire, Donald Trump only hired former Secret Service agents and members of the Navy SEAL Special Forces for his own personal protection. With greater responsibility and way more enemies around the world, the president has now totally redefined the meaning of high security. According to CNN, protecting Trump and his family before taking office in 2016 cost New York City $1 million per day, and these insane figures haven't decreased since. In fact, Trump is estimated to cost taxpayers more than 3 times the Obamas in security measures for an equivalent period. In 2018, his presidential visit to the UK cost $18 million and required an extra 10,000 police officers to be deployed. On trips like this, his complex parade of armored vehicles, motorcycles, helicopters, and trucks, each with a specific role to play in overseeing his safety, is a real sight to behold. At the center of this motorcade, you'll find Trump traveling in his multi-million-dollar armored limousine nicknamed the Beast. Except you'll never really know exactly where he is. This is because the Beast is flanked by 2 identical armored vehicles with matching number plates, which switch places with Trump's car throughout the parade. Just like hiding a ping pong ball under 3 cups and mixing them up. Apart from being totally bulletproof, the Beast is also fitted with doors thick enough to withstand an RPG, a sealed cabin with its own air supply, a smokescreen generator, tear gas dispensers, and even a supply of Trump's blood type, just in case. Queen Elizabeth II. Ever wondered what it takes to protect the most important monarch in the world? The answer is a lot of planning, more expertly qualified personnel than you can shake a stick at, and a hell of a lot of taxpayers' cash. Every movement the Queen and her immediate family makes are monitored by an estimated 185 SAS-trained officers known as the Royal Protection Squad, who were formed in 1983 after an unfortunate security breach saw Queen Liz waking up to find a member of the public named Michael Fagan at her bedside. The RPS operate out of a former police station built next to Buckingham Palace for nearly $2.5 million, and the total cost of maintaining the security force is an estimated annual cost of $35 million. These carefully selected officers are the creme de la creme of protective services, and in 2018 it was reported that 50 of the Queen's personal guards all took home handsome salaries of around $130 grand. All members of the immediate royal family wear an alarm which can set off pagers linked to these security personnel in the event of an emergency, such as in summer 1999 when Prince Charles was threatened by harpoon gun-wielding protesters while swimming in the Mediterranean. The RPS's security regime is so airtight that on one evening in 2017, the Queen, while suffering a bout of insomnia, decided to take an unannounced stroll in the palace gardens and almost came face to face with the loaded pistol of one of her own guards. Now just imagine making that kind of mistake at work. Kim Jong-un. If there was ever a good reason to up your security measures, being one of the most controversial world leaders of our time is definitely one of them. Kim Jong-un has certainly made his fair share of enemies during his time as the supreme leader of North Korea, so it's really no surprise that he now has some 15,000 personal bodyguards ready to jump to his aid. During his visit to South Korea in 2018, Kim was famously seen traveling in a procession of armored Mercedes flanked by 12 running bodyguards, all decked out in designer suits, which is just as hysterical as it sounds. Apparently, Kim prefers them on foot rather than on motorcycles because they're less distracted by the road, which makes total sense when you're trying to keep up with a limo and a three-piece in the scorching heat, right? These personal protectors are part of an elite military group in North Korea known as the Main Office of Adjutants, or Central Party Office Number 6. And there are a few strict requirements if you want to qualify. First and foremost, members can't be taller than Kim himself. That's right, no matter how good you are, if you're over 5'5", you're out. They must also have no visual impairments and be able to demonstrate a superior capability in fitness, marksmanship, and martial arts skills, and each candidate, their fathers, and even their grandfathers are rigorously vetted first. Whenever Kim travels internationally, he flies with 2 decoy jets so that it's unclear which plane he's in. And it's even been reported that he doesn't go anywhere without his own portable toilet, just in case other countries might want to gain an insight into his health by examining his stools.
I've got a butthole and it's working overtime.
Some might call it paranoia. Kim calls it protection. So just how necessary do you think all this security is? And if you found yourself in an extreme position of power, how would you protect yourself? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.